Hello everyone, MacFrog here. Today we're going to tackle the most pressing issue in the Battletech painting community. There's been lots of talk about this SlapChop method for painting minis quickly and to a reasonable standard. So I wanted to give it a try so that both of my loyal viewers can see if it's all it's cracked up to be. You might and probably are wondering what I'm talking about, so let's go through the process. If you're a mini painter, you probably already know about zenithal, and if you base coat a figure with a dark color and then hit it from the specific angle with white, you're going to get a light-dark gradient that emphasizes shadows and can help you create a more realistic look for the model. SlapChop takes this concept and tweaks it a bit. Instead of using a bright white to hit down from the top, we're going to use a light gray. The reason for this will become obvious when we get to the next step. Once the zenithal is dry, we're going to dry brush the figures with a bright white. This is going to catch all the edges and make them stand out significantly from the rest of the figure. Once dry, this is going to be where the workhorse of the SlapChop method arrives on the scene. Contrast paints, speed paints, dipping inks, whatever your flavor of contrast-like paints you have on hand are going to be directly added on top of the models. In this case of mechs that are a solid color, you can be quite liberal with the application. For models where you have split colors, you're going to need to be very careful about where you get the paint, because anywhere you put it, that's the color. And if you want to undo it, you're going to have to go back through and recreate that zenithal effect. When you're done and the paint, ink, etc. has dried, the effect should be visible. You have very, very dark darks and very, very light edges. At that point, you can very quickly add all the work detail and call the model finished once it's up to your standard. Easy peasy, right? Well, not exactly. Something I've discovered in my experimentation is that not all of the contrast paints and dipping inks are going to be working well equally with this method. For example, I used several of the brand new Citadel contrast paints on test mechs, and as you can see, the intensity of the contrast paint with the red and the orange here completely drowned the effect of the enhanced zenithal. Anyway, from what I've been able to gather, you're going to want to do some experimentation before slapping a bunch of contrast paints on all of your models. Contrast paints and inks that are lighter or mid-strength on the pigment scale are going to give you those best results. On the Kodiak here, the light blue is extremely mild, but the model is salvageable and the shading effect still works. The Bushwhacker looked great, so I went ahead and finished it up for this video. The other two are going to need to be primered over, as they really just don't work. Hopefully my model demonstrates that the method really does work with Battlemechs, though I would still caution to do some testing and find out if your contrast you want to use works before you commit it to doing a whole lance, star, regiment, galaxy, so on and so forth. So on that note, thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate the continuing support with comments, likes, sharing the video with others, and my Ko-Fi supporters who are literally helping keep the lights on around here. Take care, be awesome, make the world a slightly better place today and tomorrow.